Good evening and welcome to Collector Cars. I'm Lance, your host. With me in the studio, we've got one of our TV advertisers. Actually, this is the first time we've met.
Yes, very much.
You came on board and we're doing your commercials and I'm doing stuff on a computer. I'm putting your logo on stuff, but this is the first time we met. So do I look thinner in person?
You do, very much.
Mr. Herb Yancer.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing? With Competitive Edge.
That's correct.
I love it. I love it. And Bill Trier was hanging around by the front door, so, you know, what can I tell you?
I've had my 4 glasses of Geritol. I'm ready to go.
You're all loosened up.
He's ready to talk for an hour. See that? I love it. All right, let me get to what we're doing here. Competitive Edge Racing Cylinder Heads and Engines.
That's correct.
All right, now, I know the people out there are thinking, you know, they see all these cars pull into the car show with the big blowers and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of your line of engine work, yes?
Yes, it is. Very much so. Started out a while back just doing custom cylinder heads for people. Actually, I was hired here a while back to build engines for a company called Audi Perfection.
Okay.
And a lot of people know that company. It's been around here for a long time.
Yeah.
And they weren't really doing the engines that I felt I was capable of doing.
Okay.
They were doing those types of motors for their custom blowers.
But you weren't doing what you really wanted.
That's right. I wanted to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to just make a pump gas motor make 500 horsepower. I wanted to make a naturally aspirated motor make 900 horsepower.
Something I could drive, Bill.
You know.
See, that sounds right up my alley. See, I got in trouble when I smashed up a golf cart, Herb. So,
right.
You know.
I think we've all been guilty of that once or twice.
Will those fit on a granny bike?
Sure. Hey, they make enough. They make big enough welders to do anything you want.
He's anxious for me to run that granny bike footage when Mergens is going to get to host one of the shows because I lost a race with him on a 3-wheel granny bike. Yeah, you have no idea how these people are.
You know what I heard too?
Since
Since you lost weight, that the next time they do the granny bike thing,
yeah,
they're going to not use the truck tires on it and the airlift shocks.
Yeah, well, I want the weights taken out of the back of mine too. He didn't have weights in his. See, I'm going to hire Herb for my pit crew next time on this.
You better watch out.
Yeah, then look out.
There you go.
We're going to lube the axles on that one.
Little high performance 3-wheeler we'll make. Yancer. Now, the Yancer family, that's the Yancer that was the chassis builders, yes?
Yes.
Now, that is your dad or your grandfather?
That's my dad's brother, my Uncle Tom.
Your dad's brother, so
yeah.
That is your uncle.
Yep.
So you kind of, now, are they still doing the chassis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
very competitive. Actually, they were the first ones to come up with a shock on a dragster.
Really?
They called it the Monster.
Okay,
it was a single shock dragster that my uncle came up with years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, instead of you, in other words, family-wise, you should be building chassis now.
Yeah, my dad actually started doing chassis first, and then started doing motors, because my dad was doing, well, actually my dad did motors and chassis, but my uncle and my dad used to work together. And then
you decided you liked doing the motors better than the chassis.
The motors was a little bit more fun. I like the craftsmanship behind the chassis. I put that all together and build custom motors, you know.
Good deal. Good deal. It's pretty cool. I was hoping to get some pictures, but unfortunately your computer was down, which
that happens.
you know what'll happen next time. Your computer will be up and mine will be down.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's the world of computers. But we're going to get some pictures going and stuff. We're going to have you on the show again to talk about some of this and show the people what you actually do. Now you do, it's actually hand-ported cylinder heads.
Yes, that's when you actually take a cylinder head out of the box and set it on the bench, and you get out your hand grinders and
you do it all by hand.
Custom shape everything by hand.
Okay.
Flow bench it and make it flow better.
See, I'm not a motorhead that way. I just like to drive them.
Right.
You know. And when people say, "What do you got that Trans Am?" Oh, we had the heads shaved and ported, and we had this and we had that. All these things I'm rattling off. Most of them I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to explain them. You know, because that wasn't my thing. I like to promote shows. I like to do the music, the fun, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But how about telling the people a little bit about what services you provide and how that could benefit some of the car guys?
I tell you, the way it would benefit them is if they come to me with a project, say they got a 350 Chevy, for example. Everybody's got a 350 Chevy. You know, you can bore and hone it, you can torque plate it, you can balance it, and I am capable of producing all of these things for my clients.
For horsepower?
For horsepower reasons and longevity. You know, an unbalanced motor.
There's a real close connection there between horsepower and testosterone.
There is.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
The more you have,
out there
the more
like,
HP you have.
How do we make it go faster? Hey, Herb, that's pretty good, but you know what? Let's try something else.
That's right. John laid a bigger black mark than me, and I want to beat him. How do I do it? That's what I want to hear. I'm like, all right, I got a plan for you.
Now, you do complete engine rebuilding?
Yes.
So you do the whole thing, but you do it on a level of the racing cylinder, the racing heads and stuff like that?
That's correct.
If someone came to you and said, look, I got a 350, and I just want to rebuild it, just to, you know, make it stop.
Simple
do you
enough.
do that kind of stuff?
Yes, I do.
So
the same means to the racing stuff as to the stock stuff, you know?
Okay.
You know, restore a Corvette 327 or a full drag race 327. It doesn't matter.
Somebody's got a little problem with it. They have no idea what's happening. See, here's the problem in the car hobby. Every guy who has a classic car suddenly becomes a mechanic. And then, after he's got a bag full of parts and doesn't know what to do anymore, he comes to a guy like you who knows what he's doing and says, help.
That is true. I mean? That is very true to the case, too.
Yes, I've done that. My wife has seen me bag up the parts and say, don't ask, honey, don't ask.
I'm taking it to the machine shop.
Is my window working now? It will be in a little while, honey.
give me 20 minutes and it'll be fixed.
And the guy at the shop usually looks at me and says, which is probably your line too, how much is it going to cost me to fix this? Well, if you brought it in first, it's X number of dollars.
That's right.
Now that you got a bag full of parts to try to put back together, now it's going to be a little more than what you would have spent in the beginning. So
I usually try to get it before it becomes the basket case.
Before it becomes the basket, right,
You know,
right.
I like to bring it in when it's a running engine and explain to me if it's wore out or it's,
there's
you know,
tick, there's a knock,
there's a
this,
knock,
there's
it was
that.
doing this.
So you do a lot of diagnostic stuff.
Yes, people can bring cars to me and come to the shop, and I'll be more than glad to go out there and listen to their
here's
problems.
a big question, because I've dealt with a couple of engine guys on my son's cars over the years. Now, do you pull the engine and work on it and put it back in?
Only in most cases where it's like something that's more performance oriented. You know, I have done stock Mustang. I do Mustang stuff.
But you don't. In other words, somebody's not just going to have their car dropped off on a tow truck and have you pull it out.
No, I usually have them bring me the motor.
Right.
In most cases, you know, extreme cases where somebody can't get it done. Yes, yes. But I can get it done if somebody shows up and they need it taken out. I can get it done.
Sounds cool. Now, where are you located?
It is Industrial Park off of Ashton Road, in between McIntosh and Ashton.
Over there by Jimmy Lambert.
Yep.
Yeah,
same
Jimmy
complex.
does a lot of. Here's the biggest thing. I've heard some good things, about your shop. I've talked to people who've had work done there, who are very, very pleased, very, very happy. The biggest thing is the first question I'll ask you guys is, well, how is he to deal with? He's a good, honest guy, and that's the integrity part of it that'll keep you in business forever.
That's what I've been trying to maintain. My family name has been very well. It's been good to me, and just kind of uphold the family values that I've been taught. My dad taught me how to do this.
Do you know Jimmy?
Yes, I do very well.
He's a nice guy. He'll always. I've gone in where the car.
He'll give you his last wrench, his last rag, and his last bar of soap, whatever you need.
I thought for sure it was going to be a major number, and he'd be messing around and going, "Oh, look at this! There was a wire disconnected. Give me $5 for taking a look at it, or give me $10 for taking a look at it." And
forget about it.
Anybody else could have said, "Yeah, that's going to be $500. Come back tomorrow." So that's the big key, and I've heard some very, very good things about you guys. I'm dying to get out to the shop. What if we do this? One of these days, how about Mergens and I come out, Bill?
Yeah.
How about we come out to the shop one day, bring the camera, and film you doing some of the stuff that you do, film some of the motors, we'll do a little film clip on it.
Love it. I'll take you for a burnout in my race car in the parking lot. Let you film it from the passenger seat.
Do you notice he said, I'll take it for a burnout?
Will you let him drive it?
Yeah.
Not on the street, but he can take it past down the track.
It'd be a burnout.
Yeah, right? Let me have that pacemaker you got.
You should have seen the day with the golf cart. I'm telling you, things just happen.
You had it pulling wheelies or what?
Yeah, just about, just about. Actually, I plowed over and destroyed the airport sign at Arcadia Airport.
Whoa. They make you replace it?
Here's something I have, folks.